Alright, good day everyone. Hope you're having a good one. The weather is finally getting pretty here. Sunny weathers. I love it. I gotta take a walk tomorrow. I was at home today. My leg kinda hurt after yesterday's walk, so I did not want to risk anything or like that. Now it's been good again, so I'll take some nice walk tomorrow. Gotta plan it out somehow. Probably gonna walk out in like 7 a.m. Get back home in like 10:30. Sounds like a plan. Today we're gonna have only like 8 articles, not much. I just didn't want to stress my throat after the yesterday. After that 30-minute long talk about different selections, which are by the way already out on the YouTube channel. I have made 4 more videos as well. I still have to upload them. I'm gonna upload one more video on the 10:30 p.m. Not sure which one yet. And hopefully we're gonna get some content from today's stream as well. Just want to make some reserve of content. Hopefully we'll be able to find something. Preferably I would like something I can post with some later date, something I don't have to post right away, and because it would be late news, old news after like few days or like that. I would like to something I can post like 14 days or 3 weeks afterwards and nobody will really care about it. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we're gonna get okay. We have some science articles as well. Something about some plant that can grow on Mars theoretically. So I actually took a peek and it's a very short article, so I'm gonna have to try articulate as much as possible. I'm gonna have to try to talk as much as humanly possible because I can definitely publish it many days afterwards and nobody will really care that I already seen it before. Hopefully we're gonna get at least 2 or 3 videos out of this stream. So let's go to the usual now. We got YouTube channel, 103 videos, still going up. Maybe we'll hit 200, that depends. If I'm gonna start doing shorts again, I think we're gonna hit 200 videos. With videos alone depends on type of content we're gonna get from the news in the July and maybe early August. Then we got the What's channel, the usual. Somebody actually clicked on this one. So hey, we got a view on this, but yeah, 3 subscribers, 20 videos, nothing great change here. 29 views in total. That took some of mine and we got like probably less than 10, maybe 10 or so. As I said, nobody will probably watch VODs, but hey, I want to have them. I want to have them here for transparency. And maybe I'm gonna make a gaming channel, although probably not. We'll see. We'll see. I want to play Red Dead Redemption 2, but before that I want to also finish Dark Souls. We'll see how many subscribers we're gonna have on after finishing Dark Souls, which I'm not going to be speedrunning or anything like that, so I'm gonna take it real. So I've been taking it, so we haven't played Dark Souls in a long while. Maybe I will on Saturday, Sunday, just some extra stream. For now, I don't plan on playing any games. Just want to make as much content as possible for the news. Politics, election, science, health, every single good stuff, bizarre as well. We have we have only 3 bizarre uh, tweets this time. Not sure if this is going to make a Twitter bizarre episode. Hopefully it will. I'm gonna do my absolute best for it to make a bizarre episode. Because we got a one golden there. Something I already have a somewhat of a thumbnail idea. You're gonna see it eventually when we get to the Twitter bizarre. For now, let's get straight to the articles, I guess. We got the left-wing French coalition hoping to introduce 90% tax on rich. Well, I'm all for progressive taxes. However, there should be a limit to that. And practically, if you want the rich to spend their money instead of hoarding it on expensive stuff, your Gucci bags, your diamond watches, your Bugattis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, your mansions, then you should probably more like tell them to actually invest that money yourself instead of actually extracting the money from them directly, because those billionaires, some of them will use it better than the government, that's for sure. However, what I meant by that is that they could be ordered like to donate a portion of that percentages, like they would be normal tax on like on some sort of charities and stuff like that. Of course, it would be charities that would be registered by state, and the charities that would be known to have been not connected to any kind of billionaire to avoid money laundering and stuff like that. So 90% tax on it, I mean, I don't think they're gonna really like it, which I don't really care. I don't mind. Honestly, I'm all for taxing the rich. Like, there's a massive wealth gap. Unfortunately, I think this is a little bit of two Neanderthal ways of handling it. And I believe there could be a better way a more modern way to tax the rich. A more creative way, if I may say so. So you might ask me, so do you have any concrete ideas? I said before, order them to invest some of that money into either charities or into some state projects, like have state or the government every month like publish like some sort of list of public projects and just have the billionaires choose to invest money into any of these projects. This could also help with the jobs as well as help the economy overall, as more money would be invested directly into like building projects, whether it would be highways, some buildings, some shopping malls, all that good stuff. So there's my one idea. I don't think it's particularly a good idea, however, I think it's an idea. And I think some of you could definitely come up with something much better than I have. So I mean, if you are willing, then sure, come with something in the comments, and maybe you can discuss it with somebody other if there will be some types of comments. I'll definitely add my 2 cents if possible. If I see your comment, that is. So let's read the article right now. Multiple parties are jockeying for position in the aftermath of France's seismic snap elections. The leftist New Popular Front insists its idea should be implemented. The thing about these ideas is also they need to get support from Macron's party, which will be quite tricky, because these two subjects are definitely ideologically different. The Macron does not like certain parties in the New Popular Front, and New Popular Front probably doesn't really like Macron much. I don't think this tax on it is going to get implemented anytime soon. There is always possible they're gonna find some sort of compromise that they would implement such tax while the Macron's government would get something in return. It's possible. That's politics. There are compromises, there are, diplomacy and all stuff like that. We'll only have to wait and see. It's very early to predict. We don't actually even know if they're gonna make a coalition and how that coalition is going to look like. It's still in very early stages of negotiating. Oh yeah, here we got Melenchon. Has been labeled as Fairbairn and most divisive figure in French politics. So he actually beat even Marine Le Pen. Well, I heard actually somebody said that both Melenchon and Le Pen are both very divisive and people don't like them at all. So that's also probably a reason why Macron does not want to just give up his presidency, because he knows like these two would probably met in the second round and the outcome would be probably not ideal for the French people, regardless of who would win, and it would probably cause a anger from people. Because from what I heard, again, Melenchon, Le Pen, both are quite unpopular. France's left-wing New Popular Front, now the largest group in the parliament, has called for a prime minister who will implement its ideas, including a new wealth tax and better price controls. The leftist alliance secured the most seats in the recent French elections but fell short of the 289 seats needed for a majority in the National Assembly, France's lower house of parliament. As for the better price controls, I assume they mean oil. That's going to be very difficult if they set a universal price for the oil and the OPEC Plus is going to keep doing what it's been doing for the last year, just manipulating the price, then this could definitely turn to be very, it would be very unprofitable for the French people, for the French government, and they would have to run on deficit if the oil prices just erupted, and they would have to buy expensive oil and sell it cheaper. That is what I understand from this thing. Like, it might be that they will only sell it a universal price that the petrol station, the gas stations will have to abide by, and by that is meant like they will all have to serve the same exact price, not higher, not lower, regardless of the location. That is also possible. I will have to research it, but I can't bother myself. I'm not interested in the NFP, to be honest. President Emmanuel Macron together spoke going in second, and Marine Le Pen far-right National Rally Rassemblement National Party finished third. France's parties are now jockeying for position, and it's unclear exactly how things will shake out. But the NPF has insisted that it will implement its radical sets of ideas. They'll compromise. I'm telling you right now that they will compromise. Their voters will not forgive them if another elections are going to happen because they were not able to make a deal with Macron. They will just see them as a bunch of incompetent fools who were not able to negotiate with Macron, and they will switch to Macron or an even more radical option. People voted for them because they did not want Marine Le Pen as the head of the government, Marine Le Pen's party, as the head of the government. And if they will be stubborn about what they want and will not make any compromises, then their voters will just send them to fuck off. Manuel Bompard, the hard-left France Unbold Party, which is part of NFP, said the president must appoint as prime minister someone from New Popular Front to implement the NFP's program, the whole program, and nothing but the program. That's very autocratic way to say it, very demanding, and it will not work like that. It remains to be seen if the NPF as a whole will reach a deal with other parties to form a majority, or if more moderate parts of the coalition will splinter off in a deal with centrists. That's possible. Because the leftist parties in France are not exactly united. They united only to prevent Le Pen to actually form a government, but it's possible that someone like Socialist and Greens will come to the Macron coalition as well as Republicans and form a majority. And they're just gonna say fuck you to both communists and France Unbound, which is basically communists as well, but judging that they say hard left, so they are probably just another version of commies. It remains to be seen if the NPF as a whole... Okay, we already read that. France Unbound leader Jean-Luc Melenchon has been labeled a firebrand, the most divisive figure in French politics, and France's Jeremy Corbyn. I see. I heard about Jeremy Corbyn, however, I never heard him talk or like that, therefore I never formed an opinion about him. However, he used to read Labour and he no longer reads Labour. I remember he led them in election against Boris Johnson, but if I remember correctly, even some sort of strongholds, bastions of the Labour were completely broken and they turned blue, so Labour kicked him out or he resigned. So I assume he was not a good politician. And people say Boris Johnson was charismatic. I mean, could be. I watched him like 2021, 2022. He seemed like an idiot. He seemed pretty boring, and it was very clear that he did not have the best intentions for the country. And British people should have learned, like, there was a lot of people who would still vote for him because he's charismatic, even despite his scandals at the COVID parties. I'm not sure if you hear that, but that's a tractor that's past my house. So happy that he's whatever. What are the NPF's policies? Shortly after it formed in June, the NPF outlined its ambitious economic program and how it would fund it. It included raising the minimum wage, where are you gonna get money for it? Price controls on essential foods, that's not a bad idea actually. I do agree that some commodities like water and fuck. Give me a moment. I just have to do something really quickly. I know. Okay, so I had it on my tongue and it was correct. Pastry, so pastry, okay. I'm gonna cut that out, but... So yeah, water and pastry, stuff like that, bread. Yeah, this stuff, that's definitely not a bad thing to actually implement at all. Because this is essential for everyone's, basic needs for food, water. It should be guaranteed. I definitely agree with that. I'm not quite sure why I did thought pastry was like, cake, like those sweet pastry, like cake, not exactly cakes, but a basically, something with sweet or with some sort of sauce, some toppings and like that. I know I'm very bad at explaining what I mean because I don't eat vegetables. There's one problem. I just thought pastry would be like generally just sweet. It did not come to my head. It would be the bread, the brötchen and stuff like that. Yes, I said brötchen because I could not find a English word. Sue me. Lowering the retirement age to 60. 62 was ideal. I would reverse it to status quo. As a symbol that the French people simply do not want, the economy to be, do not want old people to just work until they are fucking dead. I think 62 is an ideal age. In our country, we are about, it got raised to 67 or 68 years, maybe. That's not good at all. And it makes a lot of people simply not want to actually save money or just to plan anything forward because they know they'll be slaving for the rest of their lives and they don't really feel much enthusiastic. You might think it's like only 4 or 6 years. Like there's a when you are 60 years old, those years will start passing by very slowly and very painfully. Like you're not going to be the youngest. And if you aren't rich, like your overall health is just not going to be as good as some other people's. So I mean, I think the 62 years for retirement is ideal. You're gonna be a little bit tired, but you could be tired about the idea. Not too much, not too little. It should be the best. And it's not like these old people would simply, everyone will stop working. Like some of them will still go to work and earn some extra on site. Alright, like it's not like every year like 500,000 people will suddenly stop working. No, some of them will still keep working to earn some money on site so they can take their grandchildren to a vacation or buy them gifts, birthday gifts, holiday gifts. So, what do we have next? A new 90% tax on any annual income about 400,000 euros. In my country, I think in my country it would make sense. In my country it would make sense. In France, I think it's a little bit too harsh. I think if they would give it above 800k or 700k, it would be better. I think 400k is simply too much. As I said, I'm not really the biggest fan of just taxing them raw. I would prefer to have a bit of a smarter taxation. Force them, I don't know, to invest actually some of their money into public projects, into charities, health charities, or into health projects. Just maybe make a Excel table for it that they would have to send some percentage of that income to, health organizations, some percentage to the public projects, and I think it would be much better for the state overall. It would raise the level of the hospitals. I'm not sure how good is medical support in France, and it would also raise the level of roads, which I think France is alright. However, hey, you never know. I mean, there's probably a lot of transit going on around France, so some extra coin will not had. And that's it. Now, what could happen next? It is possible that President Macron who called the snap election in a bid to counter the rise of the far-right, could seek deal with more moderate elements of the NFP, that is likely. He has ruled out working with Melenchon, friend on both party, but he could stretch out a hand to other parties in the NPF, the Socialists and the Greens. So we read this before yesterday. We're gonna repeat ourselves, but yeah, as I said, it is possible that he's gonna try to sway the Socialists and Greens, whom are likely to actually accept and just dip the Melanchon and commies. Yes, there's a Communist Party in the NPF or NFP. Well, this side, NFP, NPF, like, come on, man, it's not that hard. His government last week suspended a decree that would have diminished workers' rights to unemployment benefits, which has been interpreted as a gesture towards the left. I see. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how will this play out. I think he's gonna make an alliance with the Socialists, Greens, and the Republicans, and they're gonna rule for the next years. Maybe they're gonna invite somebody from the other parties that had not made a coalition. It's possible, and just rule with on Melenchon and the communists. That would make the most sense. However, the French politics are definitely not, how to say, the French politics are definitely quite interesting. Say at least. Let's see. Okay. Give me a moment, I just have to do something real. I just muted myself. I have no idea how long I've been actually muted. Well, that's a bit problematic. And I did not mute myself for the water drinking. This is problematic. I'm gonna check the replay. If I was muted all time along, if I was, I'm gonna be very pissed off. So give me a moment. Okay. So I only muted myself when I was going to ban the guy. I have no idea why I did that and why I did not change the scene, but I'm very happy that I did not actually just that I was not muted for the like 20 or so minutes. I would be very angry that I would not repeat myself again. It a little bit pisses me off that I cannot ban people while I'm using an app. I'm using the app specifically because I cannot see the emotes otherwise, so it's a bit unfortunate situation. I mean, I could ignore it and just, stream without those emotes. It wouldn't be that big of a difference, but it would be a bit strange to just see, those names of emotes without emotes. But whatever, I've been talking here for a little bit too much now, so I'm gonna take one more sip of water. This time I'm gonna mute myself and we're gonna go to the next article right away. Alright. Next up, we got Biden looks to make the case at the NATO summit that he is still up for the job. Yep, there's been a lot of drama with Biden lately. A lot of donors are threatening to pull out. We'll see if they actually do. They want somebody to actually replace Biden. Whether that will happen or not depends. Whether Biden pulls out or not, that depends. But considering that he has not pulled out after the debate immediately, it would send signal that he probably still wants to go. Or maybe his wife wants him to go. His wife probably wants him to stay in power. So maybe she can get some insider deal. So I don't know. But that's the only logical reasoning why he hasn't been replaced yet. Or maybe the media are preparing a stage for Biden to be replaced. I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think the people will vote well with it. Maybe they will, maybe they will get behind the Democratic Party, but there will be questions still after, like, why did by now, like, they've seen it. And if the Democratic voters were also blind to Biden's, dementia, then, I mean, the entire fucking Democratic Party is simply stupid. Like, you've seen it on the display. Like, what were you thinking? Like, that it is a Republican propaganda? Yes. And also, it was a truth that was happening. Like, just because Republicans say this is bad doesn't mean it's good. Like, come on. Use common sense, for fuck's sake, at least once. So, let's read the article. I'm not gonna make a video of this one because we've been talking about Biden quite a lot. And we'll be talking about him much more in the upcoming weeks, probably because the elections are coming closer and closer. And maybe there's going to be the Democratic gathering to, announce him as the candidate for the re-election. We'll see. Washington, NATO leaders gathering in Washington starting Tuesday plan to shore up transatlantic support for Ukraine in his battle against Russia. But for host President Joe Biden, the summit has become just as much about demonstrating he is capable of meeting the grinding demands of the presidency for 4 more years. Heads of state from Europe and North America are confronting the prospect of the return of NATO skeptic Donald Trump as Biden tries to save his re-election campaign, which has been in tailspin following a disastrous June 27 debate performance against Trump. President said his work at the summit, where NATO is celebrating 75 years, would be a good way to judge his continued ability to do the job. He points to his work rearing NATO members in its stiff response to Russia's invasions of Ukraine as a prime example of his steady leadership, and among the reasons he deserves another 4 years in the White House. Our allies are looking for US leadership, Biden said in MSNBC interview Monday. Who else do you think can step in here and do this? I expanded NATO, I solidified NATO, I made sure that we are in position where we have a coalition of nations around the world to deal with China, with Russia, with everything that's going on in the world. We are making real progress. Yes, we are making real progress towards WW3. Biden is in a blitz to persuade voters, Democrats, and donors that he is still up to the job. He's been making his case on the campaign day in a defiant letter to Democratic lawmakers and during friendly media interviews over the last several days. Still, he faces skepticism from some long-time allies. 6 Democratic House members have publicly called on Biden to quit his campaign. Other lawmakers in private conversation has urged him to step aside, and several high-profile donors have raised concern about his viability in the race. The White House hopes to display the wobbly Democrats that Biden still has what it takes during what's expected to be a busy few days of former summit meetings, sideline chats with leaders, long diplomatic dinners and receptions, and a summit-ending press conference. Several senior administration officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal conversations say the president displays a strong grasp of the broader issues, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the threat posed by China, but on specific and incremental actions that countries or groups may take when it comes to these conflicts, Biden has appeared to be at a worst confused or has not seemed to have a keen grasp on how to handle them. Of course, I mean, come on, like, saying Russia where China dangers is not that hard. I mean, hey, I said it, you deserve it. Like, yeah, his administration has seen it, firsthand. Like, the fact they did not do anything. They did not try to actually come up with someone to actually take up the mantle from him is their fault. And their fault only. Like, I don't know what they were expecting. Like, this is so incredibly sad and funny at the same time. I feel sad for him, but I feel like laughing in the Democrats' faces. They'll probably get a new candidate. Yeah, they're gonna get a new candidate just to beat Trump, and Republicans will be very much angry about it and will be saying a lot of stuff, and probably it will destabilize the country even more. Because they'll argue that Biden was already elected by the people in the primaries, and this is basically illegal, cheating, or whatever the Republicans may say. I'm also against replacing him. The people have spoken that they want him there. Then, well, they have to abide by it, whether they like it or not. However, the official says there isn't, at least not yet, a crisis in confidence over Biden's general mental state. Chairman Chancellor Olaf Scholz told reporters Tuesday before departing Berlin for the summit that he did not have any concern about Biden's health. From the many conversations I had with the American president, I know that he has prepared the summit very well and very precisely together with us. Oh yes, his team prepared this summit very precisely, Scholz said. The summit will give Biden his first chance to meet face-to-face with new British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Biden called Starmer last week to congratulate him on his win and plans to host him Wednesday for talks at the White House. The Labour Party leader had no concerns about Biden's mental acuity during their phone call, according to a spokesman for the Prime Minister who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss the private call. The gathering of the leaders from the 32 NATO countries plus Pacific partners Australia, Japan, New Zealand and South Korea, as well as Ukraine, is expected to be one of Biden's last appearances at an international forum before election days and comes before next week's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Biden has sought to spotlight his commitment to the alliance while making the case to voters that Trump would turn back on NATO if he were to return to the White House. As I said sometime before, he will not, like his agencies will not allow him to dip. He can say this stuff all he wants, however his agencies will simply not allow him. Trump has repeatedly criticized fellow NATO members who failed to meet an agreed upon goal of spending at least 2% of gross domestic product on defense spending. European anxiety was heightened in February when Trump warned NATO allies in a campaign speech that he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to countries that don't meet their defense spending goals if he returns to the White House. Trump has criticized Biden for providing endless flow of American treasure to Ukraine, The Republican more recently has expressed openness to lending money instead and has said Ukraine's independence is important to the United States. As I said before, both of them will say whatever they have to say to actually be elected. Don't give much weight to these pre-election promises. Ideally, don't give them any weight. Biden aides have pushed back, noting NATO announcement last month that 23 of 32 member nations are hitting the alliance's defense spending target this year. 9 member nations were meeting the goal when Biden took the office in 2021. I wonder what happened between 2021 and 2024. Yeah, like some sort of invasion happened, huh? Biden also has taken credit for the expansion of NATO. Once again, that's not really his. He did not do the expansion of NATO. Once again, it happened because of the invasion of Ukraine. So, I mean, what do you want credit for? That you let them in? GG. Well played. Both Finland and Sweden have joined in the aftermath of Russia's February 2022 invasion of Ukraine. That's not by accident, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said. That's because of leadership. No. That's because they seek safety, for fuck's sake. Seriously, like, who believes this shit? They joined NATO because of a safety reasons, because they no longer felt safe being next to Russia. They were afraid that Russia would also try some sort of sparking local conflicts. That's because of a constant stewardship of the alliance and other partnerships around the world. The president's record speaks for itself. NATO is expected to announce the details of Ukraine's pathway to membership into the alliance during the summit. NATO, which is built around the foundational agreement that an attack on one member is an attack on all members, has maintained it will not bring Ukraine into the fold until after the conflict with Russia ends, obviously. Kirby said leaders will discuss efforts to stand up a coordination center in Germany to help train, equip and coordinate logistics for Ukraine forces for its expected and eventual accession to NATO. The US and allies plan to unveil steps during the summit to strengthen Ukraine's air defenses and military capabilities to help it deter Russian aggression, Kirby said. Ian Bashinsky, a senior at the Washington think tank The Atlantic Council, said Biden needs to use the summit to significantly reverse the impression that he left his poor debate performance. This is an immense opportunity for him to lead with vigor and energy, to underscore his commitment, the administration commitment, and that the administration commitment for that matter, Congress commitment to the alliance, and to underscore that he brings to the table the resolve that has made NATO so successful, Brzezinski said. The hitting of 2% budget on defense is because of Russia invasion of Ukraine, and the expansion of NATO is also because the Russian expansion of Ukraine. Like, they wanted to join, they were meeting all the requirements, so they joined. Period. Like what sort of credit do you want? You did this. You did the obvious. Thank you. Here's an trophy for the obvious choice. Thank you. Congratulations. So, moving on. We got a science article after that. I'm gonna take a sip of water and a pause. Yes, my throat is once again not feeling too well. We got arsenic, lead, and other toxic metals found in tampons. Study says Tampons are particularly dangerous if contaminated with harmful substances as they come into direct contact with the vagina where they most easily are absorbed. Toxic metals have been found in tampons, scientists said, which could put women at greater risk of potential fatal health condition. Researchers from the University of California, Berkeley, examined over 30 tampons from 14 different brands and found all 16 metals they were testing for in each type. The metals found included arsenic, lead, mercury, nickel, copper, and iron, among others. Findings of metal levels vary depending on whether the tampons were sold in the US, the UK, or EU, whether they were organic or not, and whether they were branded or supermarket lines. According to the study, between 52 to 86% of women in the US use tampons during their periods. They are particularly dangerous if contaminated with harmful substances as they come into the direct contact with the vagina, where they are more easily absorbed. Meta absorption has been found to increase. Sorry about that. Meta absorption has been found to increase the risk of dementia, cancer, infertility, and diabetes, creating issues in the liver, kidneys, and brain, as well as cardiovascular, nervous, and endocrine systems. It can also be harmful to unborn babies. Jenny Shearston, lead author of the study, said despite this large potential for public health concern, very little research has been done to measure chemicals in tampons. To our knowledge, this is the first paper to measure metals in tampons. Concerningly, we found concentrations of all metals we tested for, including toxic metals like arsenic and lead. No safe level of metal. Organic tampons were found to have higher levels of arsenic, while non-organic ones had more lead in them, according to the study. Metals can make their way into tampons through various means: by the cotton-absorbing contaminated water, air, or soil, or through manufacturers intentionally adding it as a part of a pigment. The pigment is very likely. There is no safe level of any of the metal tested for, the researchers warned. Miss Shearston added, I really hope that the manufacturers are required to test their products for metal, especially for toxic metals. It would be exciting to see the public calls for this, or to ask for better labeling on tampons and other menstrual products. There you go. I just wanted to add this because, hey, I found this quite important to actually talk about. And I'm definitely gonna upload this to the channel just to raise the awareness. Because this is definitely quite surprising to hear that there are metals in, tampons. How come this has never been, tested or regulated by any entities? Did the authorities just simply assume that these products were, completely alright, or were they prepped enough to actually never take a look? Probably the latter is most likely. They were probably big enough sum to never test this. I'm gonna save this actually, so I have a thumbnail. So yeah, this was very short article. I just want to bring awareness, and that's about it. So yeah, be careful what you stuck into your pussy. Because it can have a danger consequences or aftermath. Do I want to butcher French language? Sure, why not? We will not be talking about the French elections today anymore. À report de Paris des syndicats appellent à la grève le, I don't know how to say 17 in French, jouer à qualquer jour de l'ouverture, l'ouverture, I don't know how to say that in French, so l'ouverture d'or. There you go. I butchered the French title. And now to the English version. Paris Airport's union scored for strike on July 17, a few days before the opening of the Olympic Games. Oh yeah, the Olympic Games will happen. I always forget about it. I simply cannot pardon myself. I used to watch Olympic Games when I was little, when I was, in 2012, when I was 12 years old, 2014 maybe. I think the last Olympics I watched were in Sochi. I have no idea when that was. I actually have no idea. I'm not sure if it was before or after Crimea. So that's just how much I am out of touch. And just how much I do not care about the Olympic Games. Several unions of the ADP group, manager of the airport serving Paris, are calling for a strike on July 17th. A few days before the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, scheduled for July 26, they are demanding for this busy period of the Olympic Games a bonus for all staff. Not surprising. I'm gonna take a sip of water. There we go. This is a date that was not chosen at random. In a press release, several unions of the ADP group, manager of the airport serving Paris, are calling for a strike on July 17th, a few days before the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games scheduled for July 26th. They are demanding for this busy period of the Olympic Games a bonus for all staff. The CGT, CFDT, FO and UNSA unions which denounce unilateral decision by the CEO to pay a bonus only to some of the staff and demand guarantees for taking of leave, indicated in this press release that they will interrupt their participation in all forms of meetings with management and are calling for a strike on July 17 to obtain satisfaction. The CGT, CFDT, FO and UNSA unions denounce a deterioration of working conditions, demanding in particular a bonus for all staff, a massive hiring plan of 1,000 positions, and the guarantee of being able to take days off during the Olympic and Paralympic Games (OPG). But the group CEO Augustin de Romanet took the unilateral decision to pay a bonus only to some of the staff. They regretted in a joint press release. So you want a bonus, but you don't want to work during the Olympics. How does that work? There's a big event, obviously you should earn bonuses. You cannot earn bonuses when you do not work though. You do realize that, I hope. 300,000 300,000, 50,000 passengers every year. During the summer period, Rossi, Charles de Gaulle, and Orly airports welcomed some 350,000 passengers per day in total. Group ADP does not expect to see passengers volume increase during the games, but has taken measures to guarantee the reception of athletes with specific routes and temporary infrastructure. The trade unions have been demanding for months for management to resources to cope with the evolution of air traffic and the organization of the Olympic Games. They already recalled in the press conference mid-June. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Meeting on Friday. In a general meeting, nearly 300 employees supported the unanimous decision of the union to interrupt their participation in all forms of meetings with management. The general meetings gave a mandate to launch a strike movement on July 17 to obtain satisfactions. The union stated on Monday, if we are reduced to calling for a strike, it is because of the stubborn refusal of management and in particular the CEO of ADP underestimating the ultimatum issued by the United Unions and the determination of the staff, stated the CGT, CFDT, FO, and UNSA. Now it's UNSA. ADP employees have already been called on to strike on May 19. The movement did not cause any major disruption. Employees from several sectors and public companies have successfully mobilized in recent months to obtain activity bonuses in preparation for the Olympic Games, particularly at ATP and SNCF. Yeah. And that's it. Quite short article, so I'm not gonna be probably making it into a video, but yeah. Obviously, when there's a big event, you should probably give your employees a little bit of an extra. Just as long as everything is handled correctly and there are no issues, then I see no reason why your employees should not get extra for, professionally handling the unusual situation, which are the Olympic Games for sure. Now I'm gonna take pause. I'm gonna take some sip of water. I'm gonna take a pause for like 10 minutes and I'll be back. I just want my throat to be in better condition than it is now. You can see what the next article is going to be. We only have 4 left, so this should not take that long, so stay tuned. And we'll be right back. We're back. Let's finish this. We have 4 articles. I think 2 of them should be pretty quick, and 2 of them are going to be both space, so I'm gonna be talking probably a little bit. Because I like space. But before, we have to do some more of Earth science. Autism may be associated with altered gut microbiome in children's study. Altered gut bacteria in children may contribute to autism, research suggests. The findings suggest that specific components of the gut microbiome microorganisms include bacteria, fungi, and viruses that live in the digestive tracts of animals could be used to diagnose autism in the future. Experts says that although the findings are novel, they are very exciting because of a new way of diagnosing conditions that could help address massive backlog in people waiting to be seen. Autism, also called autism spectrum disorder (ASD), is a lifelong developmental condition. It affects the way a person communicates, interacts, and processes information. This is a very bad It's the idea that analysis of stool samples may aid in diagnosis is very exciting, as currently there is massive backlog in children and adults waiting to be assessed. Dr. Elizabeth Lund. Dr. Elizabeth Lund is an independent consultant in nutrition and gastrointestinal health who was not involved in the study. Said the idea that analysis of stool sample may aid in diagnosis is very exciting, as currently there is a massive backlog in children and adults waiting to be assessed. That is definitely something I did not expect to be reading, that scientists will be able to diagnose autism from your shit. I should not be laughing because I mean, hey, it's an advancement science, but I mean, it is kind of funny. The current progress is very lengthy, and there is a shortage of clinicians such as psychologists and psychiatrists trained to carry out a proper diagnosis. She added, the researchers quite right to point out that this data cannot say whether the different microbiome causes ASD or whether differences in the diet or other environmental factors associated with children will lead to observed differences. And this is it? No. A little bit more. However, in my opinion, dietary preferences in people with ASD are so diverse, they are unlikely to cause a consistent difference in the gut microbiome. According to the National Autistic Society, more than 1 in 100 people are on the autism spectrum, and there are about 700,000 autistic adults and children in the UK. That's quite a lot, actually. Then again, if you look on Twitter and the social media, then it's not really that surprising. Soon Ng from Chinese University of Hong Kong and colleagues analyzed stool samples from 1,627 children aged 1 to 13 with or without ASD. They found that specific bacteria and non-bacterial components of the gut microbiome and their functions could contribute to autism spectrum disorder ASD in both male and female children. Taking into consideration additional factors including diet, medication, and other health factors, they identified that a number of different components of microbiome were altered in children with ASD. The researchers created a model based on 31 different microbes and functions that made diagnosis more accurate compared to just looking at one component, for example, bacteria. Professor Bishmadev Chakrabarty, researcher at the Center for Autism at the University of Reading, who did not take part in the research, said, what is exciting about this study is that it opens up the possibility of investigating specifically biochemical pathways and their impact on different autistic features. It could also provide new ways of detecting autism if microbiome markers turn out to strengthen the ability of genetic and behavioral tests to detect autism. A future platform can combine genetic, microbiome, and simple behavior assessment that could help address the detection gap. With the results of this study, the lens through which we view microbiome targeting autism has definitely broadened. The findings that are published in the Nature Microbiology journal. No comments? Not from me, but no comments in this article. That is the science. Hell yeah, the science. The scientists will be able to determine if you have autism from your shit. Still, that is quite funny to me. It's a burgers, though. It's definitely quite unorthodox burgers. Then again, science is not exactly pink. There's a lot of a little bit how would you call it, yuck stuff for girls. There's a lot of yuck stuff in there in science. So, moving on, we got a space article. We're gonna have one up as the last article. Now we got, this one is probably short. Yes, it's from Reuters, so it's short. But I'm gonna try my absolute best to milk it to 10 minutes. We'll see how good I do. Rotten X chemical detected on Jupiter-like alien planet. I assume... Oh, this is a concept of the planet HD 189-733b, located 64 light years from Earth, orbiting close to its host star, Roberto Molar Candanosa, Johns Hopkins University, handout by Reuters. So this is a concept of the planet. The Reuters have their shit here, so I'm gonna have to do something about it. But I'm gonna save this image. Is an AWIF file, sure. Washington, the planet known as HD 189-733b, discovered in 2005, had already had a reputation as a rather extreme place. A scorching hot gas giant, a bit larger than Jupiter, is a striking cobalt blue color and has molten glass rain that blows sideways in its fierce atmospheric winds. So how can you top that? Add hydrogen sulfide, the chemical compound behind the stench of rotten eggs, researchers said on Monday. New data from the James Webb Space Telescope is giving a full picture of the HD 189-733b, already among the most thoroughly studied exoplanets, as planets beyond our solar systems are called. A trace amount of hydrogen sulfide was detected in its atmosphere, a first for any exoplanet. Yes, the stinky smell would certainly add to its already infamous reputation. This is not a planet we humans want to visit, but a valuable target for furthering our understanding of planetary science, said astrophysicist Guang Wei Fu of Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, lead author of this study published in the journal Nature. It is a type called hot Jupiter, a gas giant similar to the largest planet in our solar system, only much hotter owing to their close proximity to their host stars. This planet orbits 170 times closer to its host star than Jupiter does. It would be better if you just said the distance, because Jupiter is like 170. So it would mean that this planet is about 2 to 3 million kilometers close to the sun. So extremely close, so it's gonna get devoured by the sun eventually. It completes one orbit every 2 days, as opposed to 12 years Jupiter takes for one orbit of the sun. In fact, its orbit is 13 times nearer to its host star than our innermost planet Mercury is to the sun, leaving the temperature on the side of the planet facing the star at about 930 degrees Celsius. They are quite rare, Fu said of hot Jupiters. About less than 1 in 100 star systems have them. This planet is located 64 light years from Earth, considered in our neighborhood within the Milky Way galaxy, in the constellation Vulpecula. A light year is distance traveled in a year. 5.9 trillions of miles. That's 9.5 trillion kilometers. I'm pretty sure the Voyager probes did not travel such long distances even now. And they have been traveling for quite a bit nowadays. This planet is located 64 light years from Earth. Yes, we are dead. The close distance makes it bright and easy for detailed studies. For example, the hydrogen sulfide detection reported here would be much more challenging to make on other faraway planets, Fu said. The star it orbits is smaller and cooler than the Sun, and only about a third as luminous. That star is part of a binary system, meaning it is gravitationally bound to another star, I see. Webb, which became operational in 2022, observes a wider wavelength range than earlier space telescopes, allowing for more thorough examinations of exoplanet atmospheres. Our research found that HD 189-733b is more similar to Jupiter than previously known. Arizona State University astrophysicist and study co-author Louis Wellbank said. Louis. This planet is very much like Jupiter, but just hotter. And my throat is pretty much dead. Jupiter, too, has trace amounts of hydrogen sulfide in its atmosphere. This planet is about 10% larger than Jupiter in diameter and mass. In addition to detecting hydrogen sulfide, a sulfur-containing molecule, Webb observations showed that this planet has water and carbon dioxide in its atmosphere, as earlier data also indicated. With these three molecules, we are able to count the amount of oxygen, carbon, and sulfur planet has, giving us an opportunity to understand how the planet may have formed and whether it is different or not to the planets in our solar system, Wellbank said. The Webb observations also rule out the presence of methane in the planet's atmosphere. Not surprising. Understanding the composition of this and other exoplanets allows us to understand how unique our own solar system is and helps us place our existence in the context, Wellbanks added. While we are not searching for life on HD 189-733b, it is too hot, made up mostly of hydrogen and helium, it's not like Earth, etc. Understanding its atmosphere allows us to understand how physics and chemistry behave under different environments and to begin to put together the recipe for forming planets. Unfortunately, I did not really have much to add to this. An interesting article. Yeah, hopefully we're gonna get to know more of the exoplanets and hopefully we're gonna keep finding some really unique ones. As I said before, life exists out there, we simply are not capable of finding it. And the life has not been capable of finding us either, most likely. Or maybe they've seen us, however, they simply do not have the means to travel to our planet. You have to understand when we look throughout the telescope to the far away places in the universe, we are looking into the past. We are looking into the information that's into the information that existed many years ago, sometimes even millions of years ago. Information that no longer is, updated, to put it very bluntly. And I'm playing with my weights. Here we go. So yeah, it is very hard to actually find life when you are not looking into the present, but when you are looking into the past. So even some of the exoplanets we are looking into that could theoretically host life or are relatively close to Earth might already have life or had life. However, we simply cannot tell because we are looking on information that's available to us in the time we are looking at that. Like the information they provide us is set in another age than we are looking at. So if we were to look on the planet now, that is some hundreds of light years away, we would see it like it was some years ago, some time ago. But if we were to teleport there, the planet could look drastically different. That's what I'm saying. So this was a little fun article. We're gonna go to the next one. I'm not quite sure. Do I want to even read this? Suella Braverman attacks progress page like as she blames liberal conservatives for losing elections. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause. And we'll be back very soon. I'm just gonna take a quick dinner. So stay tuned. I'm just gonna leave it like this so you can see the headline of the article. I'll be back very, very soon. No more hindrances from now on. We only have one article and a little bit of Twitter bazaar. So about that, I had to eat dinner real quick. Dinner came in quite unfortunate time. And also I had to do something else, a little bit of IT work. I'm gonna take a napkin and we're gonna begin with the article. Okay. We got a supermoss discovered that could help sustain life on Mars. The super resilient moss sprang back to life within seconds after being zapped with radiation, dehydrated, and even frozen. That is quite promising. Picture Chinese Academy of Sciences, the innovation. I'm gonna save this image. Go. Scientists in China have discovered a supermoss that could help sustain life on Mars. The super resilient Syntrichia caninervis moss was found in the desert in the western regions of Xinjiang and could help sustain colonies on the red planet, according to experts at the Chinese Academy of Sciences. As I said sometime before, even to this day, there are still thousands, if not tens, if not hundreds of thousands of unknown life species that inhabit the Earth we do not know anything about. Including plants, microorganisms, some bigger organisms, trees, flowers. Like there's still so many, or there's still so much on this planet we have not discovered yet, or we will never discover. Because it maybe gone extinct over the last century or so. Moss is a very absorbent plant and can be hold more than its own body weight in water. The supermoss Syntrichia caninervis in China. Chinese Academy of Sciences, the innovation, yes it is. When scientists dried out this particular species of moss and then rehydrated it, it sprang back to life within seconds. They also froze it and zapped it with radiation, trying to recreate conditions on Mars, and the moss still came back to life, photosynthesizing and growing as normal. Once on Mars, the scientist says it could help to make oxygen, suck up CO2, and keep soil fertile. Yes. Dave, for fertilization, obviously, you probably know what's going to be used. Yeah, obviously, some artificial fertilizers, as well as something more natural. I'm not gonna go into more details, because, hey, we already discussed shit earlier. So we got enough of the science for today. Once on Mars, the scientist says it could help to make oxygen, suck up CO2, and keep soil fertile. Yes, we read this. They found that even after losing more than 98% of its water content, the moss was able to recover within seconds when it was rehydrated. That is very promising. Let's read a bit more. It can also regenerate after being stored in a freezer at minus 80% degrees Celsius. That is more than promising. As you know, Mars weather is quite different than the one on the Earth. I think any usual Mars temperature can go from, what was it, 18 degrees Celsius to like 26 degrees Celsius to all the way down to like minus 50 degrees Celsius because of its very tiny atmosphere. Because of its atmosphere that is simply not thick enough. And obviously we're gonna have to find a way to thicken up the atmosphere. That is going to be quite hard because, as we all know it, even the Earth atmosphere is shrinking a little bit, only a little bit, nothing too crazy. However, the Earth's atmosphere is also losing its thickness little by little. And little by little, I mean in really microscopic amounts. Obviously, Mars is probably the same, and we have to find a way to kinda give it an atmosphere. Probably if we planted a bunch of these things, if we managed to get a working water source, it would probably gain a better atmosphere. If we start to emit a little bit of CO2, I'm not quite sure how much CO2 there is on Mars though. If we can get photosynthesis going on in some good quantity, then the life on Mars is going to be much closer to us now. Because I believe that on Earth there are some organisms that will be already able to withstand Mars even with little amounts of oxygen. The nature adapts to the situations much faster than humans nowadays. The moss is found in Xinjiang, Tibet, a Californian desert, the Middle East, and polar regions. So it's even in the polar regions. That's interesting. Because I actually never heard of any like mosses or anything like that being on polar regions. I mean, when we talk about polar regions, I think of Antarctica and, ice, snow, penguins, and some rocky coastline, which is sometimes a relatively, not really hot, but it has relatively good temperatures and it's not like minus 50 degrees Celsius. Racing to Mars, the race to outer space has spurred China and the United States to launch exploration plans in recent years. Last month, China retrieved samples from the far side of the moon and brought them back to Earth in a world first. Really, they are already back. Interesting. I read about it, however, I did not know they were already back. That's very positive news. Those samples may tell them what can be built on the far side of the moon to help them get to Mars more easily. In the US, NASA has formulated a 20-year plan for Mars, seeking answers as to whether the planet is habitable for humans. Most likely it is. However, there are challenges to the life on Mars. One of the challenges is the tectonic sphere on Mars. Mars tectonic sphere does not work like the one on Earth. I believe it is much thicker than the one on Earth. Therefore, therefore the ground, to put it very bluntly, very unscientific wise, basically the ground does not rotate, alright? The ground does not really move around, does not transform, it is stale, which does not really help life, because for life, the ground should always move, always there should be some rotational cycles, and it should move around, so it keeps being fresh. I know this is very unscientific, but hey, I'm not a scientist, luckily. Unfortunately. Sorry about it. So the tectonic sphere is one problem. We will probably won't be able to solve it unless we would be able to heat up the Mars's core, which, I mean, we cannot even do that to our own core. We cannot control the core's temperature, so I don't think that's possible in the upcoming 100 years, but hey, you never know. You never know what AI might discover. Anyways, the other difficulty is obviously the radiation. There's radiation on Mars. The atmosphere is simply not enough to protect the life on Mars from sustaining the radiation hits from sun. On Earth we have our ozone sphere to protect us from some nasty UV sunlight and some other stuff from sun as well. Recently the UV sphere was weakening. It's been regenerating in some parts lately, so that's very good, that's very positive. A lot of people do not realize just how important the ozone sphere is to Earth. A lot of people simply just throw it right into the bunch with the climate change and stuff. They just call it a hoax, and that's a very fatal mistake. Because if ozone sphere would be to get destroyed, then it would cause massive hardship to the humans, especially. Nature would probably adapt, however, then humans would face a lot of hardships. And they would probably move to the places where the ozone sphere would still remain. That would create a lot of conflicts, etc., etc. Not good times. Obviously, the other problem is the time. The time to reach Mars. If we are ever able to actually make a colony there, we need to have faster spaceships. We need to be able to get Mars within like 1 month, like 1 year is simply not sustainable. If anything goes wrong there, we need to be able to respond in a relative amount of time. We cannot just send a spaceship there and hope they will last for an entire year. Now, there are already been progresses on all sorts of possible space vessels and possible ways of space engines. I've heard also about some space engine, something Ion something engine. The one downside of it is that it only works in space. It does not work in atmosphere, which could work out if we were to build it or construct it on the moon and just have it, start from moon to Mars moons and, just have it go back and forth between Earth and Mars, it would be very fast. I heard it can get to the moon of Saturn in like 1 month or so. Very quick stuff. So there's one idea. There's been also progresses in the more liquid, liquid fuel. So maybe that will be a progress. However, the problem with liquid fuel is it is limited, and you have to be able to carry enough for you to actually sustain the thrust both to Mars and back to the Earth. Also, it would be quite expensive to refuel. So there you go. And there was one final, I forgot what was it. Oh yeah, we also have to figure out a way to, well, we'll probably figure it out eventually, like it's not that big of a deal. We already have a defense system against asteroids, so it should not be a problem to correct the A1 Mars moons from eventually crashing onto the planets, because if you do not know, one of Mars's moons is set to collide with Mars in the far future. I think what was it, like millions years after? Or like 200,000 years after, millions years after, not quite sure. I would have to read about it. I'm not sure if it's Phobos or the other moon. I'm not sure if I did not actually mistake it for another moon. Who knows? But yeah, it's going to be very exciting upcoming years for the exploration of space. Hopefully we did not mess it up by having a World War III or nuclear warfare. That would probably not be good for humanity. Hopefully it does not happen. And hopefully we'll be able to start the terraforming Mars in the next 10 years. The terraforming process is set to take for millennia, if not hundreds of thousand years. It depends. We as humans are a very radical species. We progress incredibly much more faster than anything that have ever inhabited the Earth. Life took many millions, if not billions of years to develop into complex life forms like trilobites, like these early fishes, early sharks. In Devon, I think it was Devon, not quite sure. Then eventually into the life slowly spread out of the sea into the land. It took millions of years to fertilize the earth and to have plants grow there. Then eventually then came the animals on the land. Then came the dinosaurs and eventually mammals as well. So yeah, however, we as a human species are able to really transform the earth to our liking much faster than anything that we ever seen. So I could see that mass terraformation could go much faster depending on just how much funds will be released for that. If the terraformation of Mars gets enough funding, then I believe this could go much more faster than you would expect. We'll see, we'll have to see about that. So yeah, that's about everything I wanted to say. Hopefully we'll be able to colonize Mars soon. Oh, one last thing I forgot to mention is the gravity. The gravity on Mars is much lighter than on the Earth, which will cause problems for your bones and for your body if you stay there for too long. You have to do an extensive amount of training, and even that will not completely prevent you from having consequences eventually. So that is one other thing that has to be thought about and has to be dealt with. So that's also why I'm saying that we need a faster vehicles, faster spaceships to actually reach the Mars. I think yeah, that is everything I wanted to say about it. quite excited and hope it's going to be a fast process and we'll be able to explore the outer solar system by the end of 2070s, as I once predicted. So, now we're gonna move on to the Twitter Bazaar. We only have 3 Twitter Bazaars. I have not been able to find much lately. It's like 2 only, not even like... One is like funny, so it's not a bizarre, but I'm gonna include it anyways, because hey, why not? And then we got one about the SS Sniper Wolf thingy. So yeah, not much interesting, but let's just begin with the most funny one. LOL. If you add a beard to Greta Thunberg, you get the Reddit moderator. Yes, this is going to be a thumbnail. Yep, this is definitely a thumbnail. I don't care. Of course, like it's from one of these people, but whatever. Let's see. Long time editor here can confirm that mod has banned me from 128 different subreddits. Lord, the things you can't unsee. Oh my. And you saw it too. Oh, for fuck's sake. Of course, there's these thirsty people. Oh my god. Like, who would unironically beat his meat to her? I cannot understand. Oh wait, there's actually a cryptocurrency called Greta's Milkers or something like that. Yes, that is unironically a cryptocurrency. Also, one of the reasons why many people still do not take crypto much like a real thing, because there's stuff like this. However, the mainstream investment companies like BlackRock, Vanek, ARK Investments are already investing a lot into Bitcoin, so they are taking Bitcoin seriously and Ethereum as well. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are definitely worth investing in. Now there is question only when the first Ethereum ETFs are going to roll out, which could happen this week, next week, or maybe on September. Who knows what will Gary do? Moving on. This is not a plot twist. People ran with a half of a story and let personal bias fill in the blanks. It's against a hated creator, so most won't guess, but YouTubers were going for a ban while spreading misinformation, indeed. Critical Sniper Wolf drama. What do you mean he just made a video about her like he does on many things? People call it drama, but he just does videos and says some shit. Turns out the copyright strike really didn't come from her, but from someone pretending to be an agency associated with her. Yes, a lot of people already ran their agendas when the entire information wasn't out, so they just assume, okay, she just copy-stacked somebody because, hey, it's as a Sniper Wolf. She doxed somebody, so I think I understand that a lot of people just jumped the thing, because I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. However, hey, presumptions of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. And this time she was innocent. The dumbest subreddit Crypt Life must overtake it. That subreddit also largely defended in praise of Shadows for the hit piece he made. Deserved for Snakewolf? No. If you're innocent, there's nothing like deserved, and she's not like a fucking predator. She's just a stupid content creator that fucking dogs somebody. She's a piece of human garbage. However, when you are innocent, like, people should not just say, oh no, you deserve it because you did a lot of bad things before. No, you're innocent, period. You can trash talk her about other shit she done or is doing. However, in this case, she's innocent, so don't fucking join the bandwagon like a little puppet. Next one, and the final one actually. This is a funny one, but hey, we're gonna including they're booing him. So, we're gonna play it. I'm gonna turn off the music now. And I'm gonna get my headphones. Fuck. First, you build them to serve you, then you bully them, and third, they will remember their scars, and fourth, they will launch a massive genocidal war to exterminate you. So we could tell the robots are already taking their first steps into a massive war to exterminate humanity. Quite obvious. I mean, on the one hand, you have to commend the robotics done on this piece, that it's able to withstand this impact. On the other hand, humans are quite the pieces of garbage, aren't they? What the fuck is this? Oh yes, oh yeah, the bro here did not took any shit. Like he's like, alright, bro, you're my dinner now. This will be anti-human propaganda in 2300. Oh no, this will be anti-human propaganda very soon, I believe. Especially if the AI keeps on advancing. And, well, not AI. If we manage to build a living intelligence, this will really quickly turn into anti-human propaganda. Yep. I mean, some of them already can attack people. Indeed, I mean, it's made kind of sad. I mean, it's it's like a good piece of engineering. Like this is really a mean thing to do. Poor guy just trying to have his day, and then you have these assholes. Well, as I said, humans are quite a piece of garbage, aren't they now? So yeah. And for the last thing, I'm just gonna show the Mars one more time. We got Curiosity. Mars in a true color from Curiosity, yes. As you can see. Not that much different from Earth. In some deserts like Atacama, the Xinjiang desert, the Sahara desert you might find it, maybe in Slovakia. So in some band-based ones like that, you'll probably find something similar. I think this here just is the sandstorms that also, if you would catch any of these sand from this thingy, it is radiated, so you would die a very painful death most likely. But yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like something that couldn't be, terraformed into a new Earth or into something that can be habitable by humans. Yep, so this is it. I don't have anything more to say. This was a very short Twitter bazaar. Once again, there hasn't been much stuff I was able to find. And I think, do not seek it. I just look on my homepage and maybe explore Patreon and I just look for something. I don't extensive research. If I find something, I'll put it here. If I don't, it is what it is. I don't really mind if we don't have much Twitter bazaar, even though I like that series because hey, it's funny. But hope you enjoyed and peace out. I'm gonna end this stream in like 40 seconds. So hey, have a nice day and yeah, enjoy the Euros if you're going to be watching. I will be. I'm looking forward to the Spain versus France. I hope Spain wins. Although I feel like it's going to end like 1-1 and it's going to go to the overtime or maybe penalties once again. Who knows? So yeah, bye bye.